My name is Ethan Moore, and until that year I believed luck was nothing more than coincidence dressed in hope. I was a botanist, chasing rare plants the way gamblers chase numbers. My companion on this expedition was Lucas Herrera, a local guide whose father had vanished in the Amazon decades ago while searching for something the tribes called Yara's breath, a plant said to bend fate itself. We traveled by a narrow boat along a river that twisted like a living thing. My maps were useless. Every bend erased what I thought I knew. Lucas steered calmly, humming old songs in Spanish and Quechua. "She doesn't like to be measured," he said, tapping the river with his paddle. "The jungle decides where you go." On the fourth day, the engine died. Silence swallowed us, thick and heavy. Even the insects seemed to pause. Lucas looked uneasy. "This is where my father disappeared," he whispered. We dragged the boat to shore and followed a faint trail into the green wall. The air smelled of wet leaves and old secrets. Every step felt like trespassing in someone else's dream. After hours of walking, we reached a clearing where the light fell strangely, as if filtered through glass. That's when I saw it. In the center grew a plant unlike any I had studied, silver-veined leaves shaped like flames, and a single flower glowing faintly blue. It pulsed, slowly, like a heartbeat. Lucas dropped to his knees. "Yara's breath," he said. "It grants wishes, but only once to each soul." I laughed nervously. Plants don't grant wishes. They produce chemicals. But when I touched one leaf, a memory not my own flooded me. Faces I had never seen, voices speaking in forgotten tongues, all whispering the same word: desire. I pulled my hand away, shaking. The leaf had healed where I touched it. Lucas told me the legend: whoever finds the plant may speak a true wish, and the jungle will twist reality to make it so. But every gift demands balance. What that balance was, no one knew, only that no one ever left unchanged. That night we camped near the clearing. I couldn't sleep. My life in cities, my failed marriage, my endless hunger for more, it all burned inside me. The plant glowed softly in the dark, as if listening. Near dawn, Lucas spoke quietly. "If I find my father's fate, that will be my wish." I didn't answer, because deep inside, I already knew what I wanted, and I feared what it might cost me. Morning in the jungle comes without warning. One moment the world is dark and breathing. The next it is loud and bright, filled with wings and screams and dripping leaves. The plant still glowed faintly, even in daylight. Its blue light now barely visible, like a secret. It refused to give up. Lucas approached it slowly. His hands were shaking. "I have searched half my life," he said. "If this thing lies, then at least it will lie to my face." He knelt before the plant and closed his eyes. "I wish to know what happened to my father," he whispered. "I wish to see his end." Nothing happened. For a moment I felt foolish for ever believing the story. Then the air thickened, like honey. The leaves around us began to tremble, though there was no wind. The flower bent slowly toward Lucas. Its blue light brightened, pouring into his eyes like liquid moonlight. Lucas gasped. He fell backward, screaming, clutching his head. I ran to him, but he pushed me away. His eyes were wide, reflecting images only he could see. "I see him," he cried. "He is older, broken. He walks alone." He described a man wandering deep in the jungle, half mad, speaking to shadows. My stomach twisted. "He didn't die," Lucas whispered. "The plant didn't kill him. It took him." The vision ended. Lucas lay still, breathing hard. "It showed me where," he said. "I know the path now." We followed him through terrain even the maps refused to imagine. Sinking mud, trees taller than memory, vines that bled white sap when cut. After hours of walking, we found ruins swallowed by roots. Stone faces stared from the ground like drowned gods. Inside one broken temple, we found a man. He was alive, but only barely. His beard reached his chest, his eyes cloudy with years of jungle madness. When Lucas said his name, Miguel Herrera, the man began to cry. They held each other like men who had already buried themselves. Miguel spoke slowly, painfully. He said he had found the plant long ago. He wished for a life of endless luck, and the jungle gave it. He survived falls, poison, disease, even arrows. But luck chained him here. Every path out closed. Every attempt to leave failed. He became a prisoner of his own wish. I could not die, Miguel whispered. So the jungle kept me. Lucas trembled. You are free now, he said. I will take you home. But Miguel shook his head. The wish does not end. It only changes shape. On the way back, Miguel died quietly in his son's arms, the moment he left the jungle's heart. His luck had ended. That night, Lucas said nothing. He stared into the fire, finally understanding. The plant did not give happiness. It gave consequences dressed as miracles. And I wondered, if I made a wish, what cage would it build around me? Miguel's body lay wrapped in leaves near the river, the jungle already whispering to reclaim him. Lucas said a prayer in a language I didn't know. I stood beside him, feeling like a guest at a ceremony meant for the forest, not for me. We returned to the clearing in silence. The plant waited, unchanged, glowing faintly as if nothing had happened, no matter that a man's life had just closed because of it. Lucas finally spoke. My father was lucky, he said bitterly, lucky to suffer forever. He looked at me. You still want to wish, don't you? I didn't answer at first. The truth was heavy in my chest. I had come to the Amazon chasing discovery, fame, proof that I mattered. My career had stalled, my name forgotten among younger scientists. Even my marriage had ended because I always chose work over people. I want meaning, I said at last. I want my life to matter. Lucas shook his head. Then you already don't understand this plant. I stepped closer anyway. The air thickened again, like before. My heart pounded so loud I thought the jungle might hear it. I knelt. I wish, I said, to become a man the world will never forget. The plant's light flared. Pain struck like lightning. I saw endless roads, crowds calling my name, books with my face on them, voices praising me. But beneath it all, I felt something colder, distance. Faces blurred, no one close enough to touch. I collapsed. When I opened my eyes, the jungle looked the same, but I felt different, sharper, heavier, like I had been carved into something. Lucas stared at me. Your eyes, he said. They look like mirrors. We left the clearing the next morning. On the journey back to civilization, strange things began to happen. We found food where none should be. Storms split around us. Once, a jaguar stepped onto the path, looked at me, and simply walked away. You're already lucky, Lucas said, or cursed. Weeks later, back in the world of cities and wires, my name began to spread. My notes from the expedition were published. My photos of the glowing plant, though the plant itself never appeared in them, went viral. Scientists called me a pioneer. Journalists chased me. But something was wrong. People admired me, but no one knew me. Conversations slid off me like rain. Old friends felt distant, like characters I no longer belonged with. My ex-wife, Claire, met me once. She looked at me sadly. "You're famous now," she said, "but you feel empty." I wanted to argue, but I couldn't. At night I dreamed of the jungle. The plant pulsed in the dark, whispering my name. Not with sound, but with memory. I had what I wished for, and I had never felt more alone. That was when I realized the wish was still working. It was shaping me, slowly, into something unforgettable, even if it erased everything else. Fame grows faster than any jungle vine. Within a year, my face was on magazines, my name spoken in languages I didn't understand. Universities invited me, governments funded me, and companies offered to turn my story into movies and games. Everywhere I went, people smiled like they already loved me. But love without knowing is only noise. I traveled constantly, yet every hotel room felt identical. White walls, silent beds, no memories. The world remembered me just as I had wished, but I no longer remembered myself. Lucas called often at first. He stayed near the Amazon, working with local tribes. "You don't sound like you," he said once. "Neither do you," I replied, though I knew he was lying. One night in Paris, after a speech that brought a standing ovation, I stood alone on a balcony. Hundreds had chanted my name minutes before. Now there was only wind. I whispered, "Is this what you wanted from me?" For the first time, something answered. Not a voice, more like a pressure behind my thoughts. Images flooded me. The glowing plant, Miguel's endless wandering, my own kneeling figure. I understood then. The plant did not leave me in the jungle. It lived inside the wish. Every article, every camera, every stranger who recognized me, those were its roots, spreading through the world using my name. I tried to escape it. I vanished from public life for months. No interviews, no talks, no posts. I hid in a small town by the sea under a false name. It didn't work. A tourist recognized me in a cafe, took a photo. Within hours, the town was full of reporters. My disappearance made me more famous than anything I had ever done. I called Lucas. "I can't stop it," I said. "You can," he answered, "but not alone." He told me the legends didn't end with one wish. There was a way to return to the plant, to ask not for more, but for release. But the jungle only allowed those who truly regretted their desire. "Then I qualify," I said. "I hate what I became." We planned to meet near the river where our journey had begun. As the plane lifted me back toward the Amazon, I felt something pull inside me, like a hook in my chest. The wish resisted. It did not want to end. In the clouds, I finally understood. The plant had given me what I asked for, but it would never give me what I needed. And if I wanted my life back, I would have to fight my own desire, the one I had planted inside myself. The Amazon greeted me like an old dream that never ended. Humid air wrapped around my lungs, thick with green and memory. Lucas waited at the riverbank, older now, his eyes carrying a calm I no longer had. "You came back," he said. "I don't belong anywhere else," I answered. As we traveled upriver, strange things happened. Birds followed our boat in silent lines. The river bent around us like it recognized me. My fame had not stayed in the cities. It had infected the jungle too. The wish was still active. "The plant knows you're returning," Lucas said. "It doesn't forget its children." When we reached the clearing, my breath stopped. The plant glowed brighter than before, its blue light pulsing like a living star. Around it, the ground was bare, as if nothing else dared to grow near it. I felt drawn forward, but Lucas grabbed my arm. "Only speak when you are sure," he warned. A second wish is not a correction. It is a price. I knelt anyway. The air thickened, heavier than ever. I don't want to be unforgettable, I said. I want to be real. I want to belong to someone again. The plant's light flared violently. Pain tore through me deeper than the first time. I saw two futures fighting, one of endless fame, one of quiet obscurity. The jungle shook, trees bent like grass in a storm. Then silence. I woke on the ground. Lucas hovered over me. "It's done," he whispered. "But I don't know what it chose." We left the clearing at once. The jungle felt different, less aware of me. No animals followed. No strange luck guided us. I felt ordinary. Back in civilization, my name faded. Slowly at first, then faster. Articles stopped. Invitations vanished. My image became a memory, then a footnote. At first it hurt. I had lived inside applause too long. But something else happened. I could talk to people again. Strangers didn't stare. Conversations had weight. I met a woman named Anna in a bookstore. She didn't know who I was, and didn't care. We talked for hours about nothing important. For the first time in years, I felt seen, not admired, not remembered, just seen. One night I dreamed of the plant. It was smaller, dimmer. It did not call my name. I understood then. My second wish had not erased the first. It had balanced it. I was no longer unforgettable, but I was finally human again. Still, part of me wondered, what had the jungle taken in return? The answer came quietly. Months after I began my new life with Anna, I started to forget things. Not important things at first. Names of streets, faces of people I barely knew. Then memories began to fade at the edges, like old photographs left in the sun. One morning I looked at Anna and felt fear, not because she was strange, but because for one terrible second, I did not remember how we had met. "It's nothing," I told her, "just tired." But the dreams returned. The jungle appeared again, darker now, its leaves heavy like wet cloth. The plant stood in the center, dim and cracked, as if something had been torn from it. A voice, not words but knowing, pressed into me. Balance must be paid. I understood. My second wish had given me belonging. The price was memory. The jungle was taking back the part of me that had reached for it. I called Lucas. "You were right," I said. "It always collects." He came to see me. When he arrived, I struggled to remember the years we had shared. His face was familiar, but distant, like a dream I once had. "The plant is undoing you," he said softly. "Not your body, your story." "What happens when it finishes?" I asked. "You will still live," he answered. "But you won't remember why." I was terrified. Not of death, but of becoming empty of myself. So I began to write. Every day I wrote my life into notebooks. My childhood, my marriage, the jungle, the plant, my wishes, Anna, Lucas, everything. I labeled them carefully and hid copies in different places. I told Anna the truth, even when it broke her heart. "If I forget you," I said, "promise you'll show me these." She cried and promised. The forgetting accelerated. Some mornings I woke unsure of where I was. Sometimes I looked at my own handwriting like it belonged to another man. But one thing did not fade. When I read about the plant, my chest still ached. When I saw the word wish, something inside me tightened, like an old scar remembering pain. The jungle was not cruel. It was precise. It had given me fame, then taken my closeness. It had given me belonging, and now it was taking my past. I had asked to be unforgettable. Then I asked to belong. So it made sure I would forget. so others could remember me, and I could still love them, even if I no longer knew why. And maybe that was its final lesson. A man is not only his memories, he is also what he chooses to care for, even when he can no longer explain it. I wake up in a room I do not recognize. The walls are warm-colored. There are books everywhere, many written in my own handwriting. On the table lies a note in a careful, familiar script. If you are reading this, you are me. Do not be afraid. Read the notebooks. Trust the woman named Anna. Trust the man named Lucas. You once touched a miracle, and it touched you back. I do not remember writing it, but I believe it. A woman enters. She smiles with a sadness that feels older than today. "Good morning, Ethan," she says. My name sounds right. She helps me through the morning. She does not explain too much. She lets me be what I am now. Sometimes I catch her watching me, as if I am both here and already gone. Later, I read. I read about a jungle that breathes like a god. I read about a glowing plant and 2 wishes. I read about fame that felt empty and love that felt real. I read about a price that could not be avoided. The story feels like mine. My hands shake when I reach the last pages. I do not remember living any of it, but I feel its weight in my chest. Lucas visits sometimes. I know he matters to me because when I see him, something inside me stands up straight. "You're still you," he tells me, "just lighter." One evening, Anna takes me to a river near our home. The water moves slowly, like it is thinking. "Do you regret it?" she asks. I search inside myself. I do not remember the wishes. I do not remember the jungle. But I remember this moment. Her voice, the quiet, the way the light touches the water. "No," I say, because whatever I was, it led me here. That night I write a final note in a new notebook. I may forget who I was, but I will not forget how it feels to care. If that came from a miracle, then the miracle was worth its price. I close the book. I do not know what tomorrow will take from me, but I know this. The jungle gave me 2 gifts: to be remembered by the world and to belong to one person. Even if I no longer remember the jungle, some part of it still grows inside me, not as a wish, but as a quiet reason to live.